On the throne in the jungle, on the throne in the streets. No shame in my kingdom, I was born to defeat.
I'm in the Lambo, I'm in demand. Pull up, shoot me shot like Rambo. Got my shirt off, and my jeans on. Pull off, do 100, yeah, I'm too gone. Swerve on, doing numbers on. Yeah, I'm reckless, I don't know where I'm going. Yeah, I run the town and everybody know it. I'm so flashy, so everybody focus. Everybody looking, cause I'm the one that notice. I'm the boss, yeah, I pay the cost for it. It don't matter what it costs, I pay for it. And if you ask me what it costs, you can't afford it.
On the throne in the jungle, on the throne in the streets. No shame in my kingdom, I was born to defeat.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to round 5 of the Crew Chief Championship from RR League. Today coming from Spa-Francorchamps in Birmingham, in Belgium. And I suppose before we proceed, we must send our thoughts and prayers out to all those people that have been affected by the horrible floods and downpours, swollen rivers that Northern Europe and Central Europe have experienced over the last few days. I'm pretty sure that a number of the people watching the broadcast today will know somebody that's been affected by those floods. So again, from the bottom of our hearts, from everyone at RR Leagues, we do send our thoughts to all those affected. It looks horrible on what we see on the TV, and I can only just think about the amount of devastation that you guys are suffering. So again, what we're doing today sort of pales into insignificance when you take that into consideration. But nevertheless, here we are. I'll say round 5 of the Crew Chief Championship from RR Leagues. Because of those issues we've had in Northern Europe over the last few days, a few drivers missing for understandable reasons as they try and either help themselves or help other people in particularly difficult circumstances. So a reduced grid for the fifth round rather. But let's just have a look at where we are with the championship. Try and get that information up. So here we go. After say 4 rounds, you'll see that Radek Pavlicek leads the championship by just 2 points from Clive Britton after Clive missed the last round at the Hungaroring. Technical issues for Clive meant round 4 was a no-go for him. He is here in round 5, but those technical issues are still bugging at him. So we'll see if he can manage to stay with us for the entirety of the race. I know he'll be really looking forward to it if he can. So let's hope he's here for that. 3 wins for Clive in the first 3 rounds. So he'll be really looking to stamp his mark on the championship tonight. But each driver is allowed to drop 1 round. So if Clive can put a decent performance tonight, Radek will still have to drop a round at some point. So we'll see when that is. Unfortunately, Radek is not in. Oh, he is in the server tonight. I should say he's not in the server tonight, but he is. He's there. So Radek and Clive fighting it out tonight. Andre Bergsman, they've been particularly quick in practice, along with Max Haas down there in 6th. So in practice, very quick. Jim Britton there in 4th, crew chief himself. Simon Finningham, who's had an on and off season, as you can see there, 2 wins for Si. But a number of 10th and 11th places there you can see dropping in as well. So Si's really struggled with the rear grip of that Mercedes, but when it is hooked up, he is an absolute beast. So watch out for Si Finningham tonight. Sight isn't in the server tonight, so he may be one of those that's missing. Max has certainly in the server. Max particularly quick in these cars, but I'm sure he won't mind me saying, a little bit unlucky and sometimes inconsistent. His place there in 6th place doesn't really belie his pace, but watch out for him in tonight's race. Klaus Schneider there in 7th. You can see he missed the first round at Road America, so all points count for him. Good 3rd place in the first race at Hungaroring last time out. Gerasimos Cassel, again another guy particularly quick in these cars. You can see his 2nd place there in Brands' race 2. So again another driver to watch out for. Carlos Guerra and Greg Metcalf there in 10th place round out your top 10. We've just gone to the team championship. Here we go. So the crew chief team of Jim Britton and Max Haas currently out there in front, 560. Cy Fillingham and Greg Metcalf currently sitting there in 2nd place for the Virtual Insanity team. Radek and Ben Reynolds in 3rd, although we haven't seen Ben for a couple of races now, so Radek kind of running that team by himself. Magyar and Cassel there in 4th, the Beer brothers. Martin Kennington, Clive Britton's down there in 5th. Again, Martin, I know a couple of his family have been affected by the floods tonight, so I don't expect to see Martin around this evening, which is a real shame. Him and Clive make a really good team in the staff room at RR League, so we wish Martin all the best and his family. The 2 Schneider brothers, you can see them, I say missed round 1, only joined the championship middle of round 2, so good to see them putting in decent performance, both quick drivers. And David Dorr and Nemanja there at the bottom. Not seen Nemanja around for a couple of weeks, so I'm not sure where he is. But David Dorr, responsible as always, pretty quick. We'll look out for David in tonight's race. So there's your team championship. Let's get rid of that and get on to the qualifying. Just watching Lars Schneider. Let's go on with the current pole sitter, provisionally. That's Max Haas. There's your standings. So Haas from Britain, Cassel, Metcalf, Binnersley, Magyar, Lecken and Guerra. They're the 8 drivers to put a lap in so far. Watch out for the likes of Bergsma, Pavlicek, Jazz Forsberg in the server tonight. Good to see Jazz. And there goes Bergsma across the line, puts in a 2:30.7. 24 laps should be the race length tonight. 1 hour. One slight change from the last round. Well, slight change, quite a big change. Obviously, Race Room had their massive update, and during the update, which addressed feedback, force feedback issues and other bits and pieces, so a new engine for force feedback. One thing that didn't come into play in the last round, but will come into play in this round, these cars have been retrofitted with 110 litre fuel tanks. Now, in the first 3 rounds, that wasn't the case. Round 4 was obviously the 2 sprint races, so the size of the fuel tank not really an issue there. But round 5 here at Spa, that will be an issue because, or rather, now it won't be an issue because the car should be able to fill up right at the start and go for a complete hour on 1 tank of fuel. So negating the need for pit stops, I think even the soft tyres here at Spa will last the hour as well. So there'll be no need for the guy to enter the pit, so it will be just a straight fight from line to line, which in some ways is good. It means it's literally down to the driver and the car. In other ways it takes away a little bit of the strategy because obviously there's no pit stop thing and no fuel to calculate and all the other bits and pieces. So it is what it is. We can't change it, and we're racing as we are, so don't expect to see many pit stops tonight. It'll literally be from the grid to the flag. So watching Max Haas in the tic-tac car. You can see that his best time of 2:30.125. And he's going around in his warm-up lap. Who's that behind him? Well, here's championship 2nd place, Clive Britton. Good to see those technical gremlins are not showing their face so far tonight, and I will touch wood as I say that. Here he goes up through Blanchimont. And up towards the bus stop chicane. Taking a very aggressive line through the first part of that one. And he will trundle up to the line. Second sector very quick. And that puts him top of 2:30.1, just 2/100ths of a second ahead of Max Haas. So even after a 2.5 minute lap, a fingernail covering the both of them. So a nice lap from Clive Britton there. Where is Max Haas? He's just coming up to the bus stop now to start his quick one. So let's stay with Max for this lap. In fact, let's do better than that. Let's go on board with Max. So through turn 1 at the source. Drift out wide, not too wide. Use that curb there as your stopper, sausage. And then we go through left and right at Eau Rouge. And then, oh, just manages to make it through there at Radiant. Up the Kemmel Straight. Just listen to the engine and see if it tops out. Yeah, you can hear it hitting the limiter there as he comes in to take Le Comp. So the BMWs will suffer tonight with that, I think. That rev limiter just cutting in at the top of the Kemmel Straight. And we come to Bruxelles. Right hander, 180 degrees. A completely equal radius. Through the corner that previously had no name. I believe it has got a name now, but I've always known it as no name, so that's what it'll be for tonight. And down we go through Pouhon. Carry as much speed as you can through here. We should go down towards the chicane at Campus. Not really a chicane, more of a long right left. And through Stavelot. Stay as far left as you can to get the best line you can through it, and you can just see there Max got that slightly wrong. Turned in a little bit too early. And that's his lap done. So here's Ranek Pavlicek. Currently leading the championship, remember. Two tenths down on Clive Britton's time. Where's Andre Bergsma? Yeah, he also not on the lap. Who is on the lap? David Dorr not on a lap. Greg Metcalf maybe. Greg was, but he's got a cut track somewhere, so this lap will be invalidated. We'll find someone in a minute that's done a lap. Grasmos has lost his time, I think, in sector 2. Binnersley maybe. He's on his out lap. We'll find one. We will find. Here we go. Excuse me. I was so excited. Lars Schneider. 4 tenths down through sector 1. Nice through Lacombe there, and down through this sweeping left hand as it falls away from you. And you keep going downhill as you're on the run down to Pouhon. So literally from the top of the hill there, you're downhill all the way through Pouhon. Again, the track's still falling away, you can see, and it finally starts to level out now as you get on the straight. You come down towards the fast right left. So Lars through there. And come down to Stavolo. Runs that inside curb. Hangs it out wide and turns in late. Carry as much speed as you can here. Don't go too wide. He's good. Second and a half off the pace though, as you can see there. Just shows you how quick those guys up front are. No slouch by any means, but you can see Clive literally just touched the brakes through there, Clive Britton, whereas Lars longer on the brake pedal there. So if you set up differences between them, and it snakes it round there. If he'd kept the grip, that would have been a really quick way to get through the chicane. But as it is, he's going to come across the line with a 2:31.8. It's his best lap so far, but keeps him. Well, improves just to 9th position. I think he was in 9th before, but anyway, 9th position for him. 1.7 off the pace. Max Haas right behind, looks like that's Dusan Magyar. Yeah, that's Greg Metcalf just went across to finish his lap. .231.372, so improvement for Greg. 7th place for him. There's Gerasimos Cassel. Already half a second down through sector 1. I think we've got two groups tonight. Those guys in what, first three really are a bit in a class of their own. Bergsman trying to keep on to them, and then Schneider, Dorr, Metcalf, Cassel, Binnersley, Schneider, Lars, all about second off the pace. And then Magyar, Lecken, Guerra, Wicklander and Jas Forsberg there at the back on his return to DTM 92. So Cassel quick for him through 1 and 2. His quickest lap so far, quickest sector so far rather. MERC really all over the place as he comes through to on the braking. Weight transfer. Chucking the car all over the shop, and then he's going to come over the line. Come on, Gerasimos, what have you got for us? So a little bit slower in sector 3. Puts in a 2:31.2. That's his best time so far, but keeps him. In fact, he just jumps Greg Metcalf there and pushes Greg down to 8th. So first 2 sectors impressive there from Cassel. Unfortunately, just that last sector catching him out slightly. Clive Britton currently sat in the pits thinking his work is done. Max Haas is still having another go though, although he's 2/10 down through sector 1. And he's wide through, there we go, wide through Pouant, and that's Max back to the pits. He's done. Radek Pavlicek just unfortunately put Clive to the sword. 2:30.0 for Radek, 300ths quicker than Clive Britton. So less than what, half a tenth. Easy for you to say, half a tenth covering the first 3 drivers there. Pavlicek, Britton, and Max Haas. Thanks, Radek, just giving us a show of his car for the photographers. And quick burnout for for Radek, sorry. Andre Bergsma still on a lap here. Could be a quick one. He was quick through sector 1. Slightly off his best in sector 2, but he's still got a chance to improve here. Although I don't think he's going to be pushing the top 3, so his time might improve, but a 2:30.4, so he does improve, but stays in 4th position. So there's your grid. Pavlicek takes pole position from Clive Britton. That's your first row there. Max Haas and Andre Bergsman will fill out row 2. Expect the race somewhere between those 4. After that, you've got David Dorr, Klaus Schneider, Been out row 3, Cassell, Metcalf row 4, Binnesley and Lars Schneider down there in row 5. Dusan Magyar, Marcel Lecken, Carlos Guerra, Nicholas Wickler and Jas Forsberg bringing up the rear there for us. So I'll say 24 laps tonight, based on the pace we're seeing there. Shouldn't see many pit stops, if any. Guys will just sort out their fuel from qualifying to race trim. Make any small adjustments they'll need for the extra weight they'll be carrying. And then they'll be on the grid for round 5 of this DTM 92 Championship. Guys, if you haven't liked the video already, please remember to hit the thumbs up on the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe. All those bits and pieces. Hit notification if you want a little alert when we go live with each of our live streams, to make sure you don't miss any of the action. And leave us a comment. Why not? Good for the algorithm, helps us attract a few more viewers, which will get us a few more subscribers and maybe a few more drivers on the grid. Who knows? Anyway, here we go. Lights are red. Lights are red. Wait for them to extinguish. Jump start from Pavlicek. The lights held for very, very long. And Radek just couldn't hold the clutch any longer. So Radek's going to get a jump start penalty as they go through and down the straight. Confirmation of that penalty there for Pavlicek. So he's got some time to make up here, but down first through Clive Britton. Pavlicek's going to tuck in behind. Max Haas in third. Good start from Lars. No, it's Klaus Schneider there in fourth. From Bergsma, who drops a place down to fifth. Then Metcalf, Dorr, Cassell, Binnesley, Lars Schneider, Lecken, Magyar, Wicklander, Guerra and Forsberg. So up they come to Lecomte. Britain's through in the lead. Pavlicek in second. He'll be kicking himself. The lights didn't seem to go out for ages, did they? They were held on that red light for so long. Pavlicek just jumped. Even then, after his jump, they stayed on for a good second or so before they decided to extinguish themselves. So Clive Britton leads. They go down towards Pouon from Pavlicek. Penalty waiting to be taken from Radek. Max Haas in third. And Klaus Schneider tight up behind him in fourth. So Clive driving with his technical issues with his connection. Always hanging over him. But currently, fingers crossed and touching wood, both of which I'm doing, he leads. Come down towards Blanchimont. Will Pavlicek dopping the tits this lap, or will he continue for another couple of laps to try and get himself a little bit of a gap on the guys nearer the rear? Although, to be fair, I think wherever he comes out, he's going to have to fight through a certain amount of traffic as Britton goes wide through the chicane, or deep into the chicane, sorry. Has to take the escape route through there, and that will allow Pavlicek through now with Haas. Klaus Schneider's going to get through as well, and Clive Britton's going to tuck in there in what eventually will be fourth position. So, Pavlicek now leads. Max Haas second. Schneider third. Clive Britton looking to make up time after that mistake. Just went presumably cold brakes at the end of lap one, especially on that long run down through Blanchimont. Deep into that chicane, just couldn't stop the car. And that's allowed Pavlicek now. Max Hasso really nibbling at that back bumper. Max sneaking through on the inside here. Radek makes it wide there. Does he? No. Radek just about holds it together. Very deep though into Broussel's. The first four being watched over there by Andre Bergsma. They're in 5th. Pavlicek from Haas, from Schneider and Britton. Bergsma, Greg Metcalf, Rick Binnersley, Rasmus Cassel, Lars Schneider and Marcel Lecken. That's your top 10. It's on board with Clive Britton now. Klaus Schneider in front of him. You can see Haas and Pavlicek through Blanchimont. See Britton just touching the brakes, rolling through. Excuse me. Good God. My mother will be distraught. Clive a little bit more circumspect on the brakes this time. Good line through there. So all 4 of them make it through. Pavlicek, Haas, Schneider, Britton. Pavlicek will need to come in end of lap 3, end of this lap rather, to serve his penalty. So Max will no doubt feel like Radek's holding him up, but he really doesn't need to do anything too silly here. In fact, Radek's pulled away through that first part of that, and he's gone wide there as well, so that'll be a slow down penalty, which he won't want to do coming up the Kemmel straight. And we just lift and coast towards the end of the straight, just to give some of that time back. Feels perverse to talk about the weather when we spoke about what we did earlier with what's happening in Europe, but it is absolutely scorching here in the UK today. I'm having to commentate remotely. Our leagues doesn't have the budget to send me to to Spa just yet, but we're working on it. Commentary box is like a sauna. So Pavlicek pulled out about a second now, Max Haas. He's got Klaus Schneider and Clive Britton tearing after him. Good lap in here from Klaus Schneider. Car obviously handling well with a full tank of fuel on. I wonder if he had that set up for that in the first place rather than for qualifying. Places behind pretty much the stable. Bergsma's still there in 5th place, just hanging on to this group of 4. Metcalf, Binnersley, Cassel, Lars Schneider, Marcel Lecken. Jazz Forsberg up to 11th. Nice driving from Jazz. Struggled in qualifying, but that pace already coming through in the race now. So here comes Pavlicek. He'll need to drop into the pits, serve his drive-through penalty. There he goes. So Pavlicek's through the pits. And now Max Haas leads across the line. Klaus Schneider defends on the inside. Sorry, Clive Britton comes through there. He get through at the chicane. I missed that when I was watching Pavlicek go through the pits, but Clive Britton's past Klaus Schneider, and he'll go chasing after Haas. There is Pavlicek. He's just coming out the pits now. So not quite at the back for Pavlicek. That's Marcel Lecken in front of him. So Pavlicek comes out in 10th position. Only 10 seconds behind Max Haas for that drive-through. So not particularly much of a penalty. Normally a drive-through costs you a lot more than 10 seconds, but Radek, that's all he's got to find is 10 seconds up to Max Haas. that and getting past 8 other cars as well, of course. But out in front, Haas leads Britton, Schneider, Bergsma. And there's a battle then for 5th. This is Greg Metcalf. He's got Rick Binnersley right behind him. Rasmus Cassell there in the Uralt Mercedes. You can just, well, so you can just see, have to check about 3 seconds off this group here. Further back, that's David Dorr trying to make his way past Carlos Guerra. Looks like David's experienced a little bit of an issue there with his front of his car. That BMW looking a little bit snub-nosed than the others. Crumpled bonnet as well. So David had some issues. And the best of luck in the last few races, David Dorr, in this series and others. Extremely quick driver on his day. Obviously already had an incident and that car looks like it's suffering with some suspension issues. Not surprising after that, whatever impact that was. Now this is Cassell and Binnersley. Binnersley under braking, car all over the place. He did that's a Clive Britton there, trying to get it stopped. He'll sneak out of the exit there, and that'll push him back behind Lars Schneider. Or will it? Yep, Schneider pulls in front of him, so Binnersley down to 9th after that brake fade. The end of the straight there, so he's got that to make that back up. Up in front though, Clive Britton, Max Haas. As they go up the Kemmel straight, Max making sure he leaves the car on the inside to protect the line into Le Comte. Clive will look around the outside, but I don't think he'll get that done. He doesn't. Good car placement there from Max, unless Clive can get it switched back here. He's trying, but Max places the car right in the middle of the track. Perfectly entitled to do that, of course. And down they come through Bruxelles. Right hander at no name, take as much of that inside as you dare. Give you the straightest exit there. And down towards Pouhon. Max from Britain, Klaus Schneider, Bergsma. That's the 4 you can see. Then a bit of a gap then back to Metcalf and Cassell. You can just see them coming around the corner there in the background. Cockpit view from Clive Britton. And you get a slipstream here off Max. We launch him on. Quick dab of the brakes here. In fact, Max not touching the brakes at all, allowing the car to run through there. Clive though looks like he's got more speed as they come up towards the chicane. You look around the outside. Take the fight to Max again down the straight. Although he has just fallen back slightly there towards Klaus Schneider and Bergsma with that attempt. You can just see there in the background Pavlicek coming through there in 9th position. So he is on the same straight. Both Britton and Schneider taking liberty with that sausage curb on the exit. Exit of La Source. So here they go through Rouge, out through Radion. Max quicker through there this time, although Clive pulls away from Klaus Schneider and he'll take it up the Kemmel straight again. Max far enough ahead that he doesn't need to defend the line this time. Although back behind you can see Metcalf and Cassell, the two 190 MERC going side by side there, up the straight. Meanwhile, up front, Haas and Britain. Britain's got a real chance this time as they go through Pouon. Campus they go. And towards Stavilo. Jab on the brakes from Haas. Finds that inside curb. Gets the car straight just in time. That's not the greatest line from Haas. That will allow Britain to really grab on his tail here. Oh, fair play to Max. He has got a fairly good drive out of there. Clive just about 100th of a second quicker. Oh, Max runs wide. This is Britain's chance. And Britain's through from Haas. I wonder if Haas was just spooked a little bit last time. I remember he didn't touch the brakes as I went through a fast left-hander, and I think he thought Clive was a little bit quicker than him, so tried to carry a little bit more speed through there. A little bit of a shunt there from Haas as they go through Le Combe. Sorry, the Source. What am I talking about? Le Combe. Christ. Both live to fight another day. Britain down the dip and up the hill. Remember, he's been here before, but made that mistake into the chicane, which pushed him back to fourth. He'll now be looking to hopefully try and drag this lead out a little bit. Max will try his best to try and get that position back. Meanwhile, Greg Metcalf, Cassell, Lars Schneider, Pavlicek and Binnersley. It's Cassell and Lars Schneider. Behind them, got Radek Pavlicek looking up the outside of Rick Binnersley as they go through Pouon, and he's through. So Pavlicek past Binnersley. And Pavlicek now up to 8th position. Still that 10 seconds that he lost in that drive-through between him and the leader Clive Britton. Radek will feel like he's got a point to prove after that false start. Just jumped the line. He did stop, he didn't just go. He jumped his box and then stopped as the lights held and held and held. And even though he was going to get a penalty, he still stood on the brake until the lights went green. He'd be wishing he probably would have got a proper false start, at least got a couple of seconds back. And as he runs wide there. And you can just see Gerasimos Cassell a bit eager with the throttle there as he went through the chicane. And looks like, is that Lars Schneider? It is, yeah, so Schneider as well. Well, those two are going at it maybe. I wonder if those two went into the chicane side by side and came a cropper. Anyway, that's Lars Schneider down to 9th. Behind them, Forsberg and Dorr. Every Dorr still managing to struggle around with that broken BMW. And Carlos Guerra, they're just going through from Lecken, Wicklander, Dusan Magyar struggling today down there in 15th position. Meanwhile, at the other end of the grid, Bergsma pushing Klaus Schneider here as Britton and Haas try and make a run for it. Fastest lap so far, Clive Britton, a 2:31.0. In fact, I lied. Radek Pavlicek's done a 2:30.8, so Pavlicek really with a bit between his teeth as he tries to catch four at the front of the field. He's up to 6 now. He's passed, obviously past Cassell after that incident between him and Schneider. So clear track in front of Pavlicek, at least until he gets to Greg Metcalf, 3 seconds ahead of him, so Radek will be looking to put the hammer down. Schneider just putting away from Bergsman the latter half of this lap. You can see just starting to grow. He's a little bit wide out of there though. Deep into the chicane. That'll give Bergsma a chance on the switchback to get a better run. Schneider keeping to the inside, making Bergsma go a long way around the source, which he does. Schneider looks like he's made an error in the chicane. He dropped back down through the field. Meanwhile, Bergsma. Whoa! Wow, Klaus Schneider well held. That was almost going through to Holland if he lost that there. But as it is, Bergsma, remember these were both top out at the top of the straight. See Haas and Britton in front of him, just about a second now between him and Klaus Schneider as Schneider and Bergsma fight over third position. Bergsma carrying more speed into the exit of Pouhon, making Schneider run wide there. Tabs on the throttle from Bergsma as he looks for the grip going through there. Close as you like through Stavolo. Can they pick the turning point? This is going to be close. Bergsma closing. Just having to get out the throttle there as they came through. Schneider will defend up the inside. Bergsma goes wide around the outside. Both hard on the brakes. Oh, unlucky Andre Bergsma, almost. Same battle here. Dorr and Jazz Forsberg. Although Forsberg making sure Dorr doesn't get the chance to go around the outside. Nice driving from Jazz there. They both scrabble for grip, and David Dorr really struggles for grip as they go on to the start-finish straight. Forsberg will lead Dorr across the line. Battle there for 9th position. Bennessy's dropped back behind those guys. In fact, no, Bennessy's ahead of them. Sorry, it's Guerra just behind them. Similar car. . 'Cause 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 ' That's the beat up bonnet of David Dorr's car. He'll chase Forsberg up the Kemmel Straight. Dorr looking up the inside here. Just lost a bit of power though against Forsberg. He's not been able to make it through. Jazz cuts in front. Although Dorr quick through Lecombe there, you can see Forsberg just dawdling on the curb a little bit there. Dorr having to get out the throttle. So they'll take the fight towards Pouon. Both good through there. The gantry. Hard right. Dorr just losing the car slightly there. He keeps it together. Hasn't lost much time. Grab that inside curb, pull it round, and run wide there. Oh, he just manages to keep the power down as he closed right in on Forsberg there. Meanwhile, up front, Pavlicek trying on Greg Metcalf. This is David Dorr though, and Jazz Forsberg again. Dorr looking at the inside this time. He's got the pace. Can he get the car stopped? Yes, he can. Nice driving from David Dorr there. So Dorr goes up to 9th. Forsberg now 10th. That's Guerra. And Lecken, you can see there in the background, Wicklander and Magyar bringing up the rear behind them. It's like Lars Schneider has had an issue somewhere, a big issue. In fact, he's back in the pits and out of the race, unfortunately. Meanwhile, up the Kemmel Straight, Pavlicek looks around the outside of Greg Metcalf. Side by side, Pavlicek just getting his nose in front. Leaves Metcalf room on the inside there though, but doesn't really allow any way he can get that car back on the racing line. So Pavlicek now up to 5th, but still that 10 seconds hangs over him. As Britton and Haas now 5 seconds ahead of the Schneider-Bergsma battle. We've already got 2x2 battles here. Max Haas and Clive Britton, second between those two. A gap back to Schneider and Bergsma. And then a gap back to Pavlicek and Metcalf. And then a gap back to Cassell and Binnersley. So it is, that's nowhere intended, 2x2 at the moment. Although it is BMW, 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 Mercedes, 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 BMW. Only 4 Mercs in this race, to be fair, out of 15 cars, so Stuttgart drivers got their work cut out. Oh, Pavlicek just getting it wrong on the exit there. Keeps it together though. Really trying his hardest to get back on terms. You can see Bergsma in front of him now. So podium within sights now, Pavlicek. Meanwhile, this is the battle for the lead. Clive Britton, Max Haas. Pushing all the way. Clive trying to break the toe there. This is a view from Haas. Further back in the field, Binners in Cassell, and in the BMW, Cassell in the MERC. Cassell fought him off. Cassell really wide there. The Cameron's called Bourfier up through Stavelot. Pushing on those right hand side tyres. This car on the outside initially just to give Cassell something to think about, but then slots back in behind. At the end of 13 laps, Clive Britton leads Max Haas by a second or so, and then Schneider and Bergsma. Oh! Benizzi really late on the brakes there. Does his best to avoid Cassell, which he does. But he's lost, what, 3 seconds there or so? Just missed his braking point, I think, there, Rick Binnersley, and did well to avoid the tail lights of Gerasimos Cassell for his trouble. And jumps across the track there at Radion up the straight. Yeah, around 3 seconds he lost to Cassell there. Is he really struggling with the handling of that car by the looks of it? So we'll leave him to his perils and we'll go and watch the guys up front again, Britton and Haas. You can see good distance back to Schneider and Bergsma, 3rd and 4th. But Max Haas really not giving Clive Britton a chance to breathe here. Or is that the other way round, I wonder? Clive Britton just pulling Max along behind him. So halfway through the race, effectively. Britton from Haas, Schneider, Bergsma. In fact, Bergsma right up behind Klaus Schneider here. Look round the outside into the chicane again. We've seen this before. Bergsma getting a bit of a drift on round there. There's a weight transfer on the rear of the car. Swapped ends. Caught it though, and he manages to stay in touch. Be looking just once to get on the inside into that chicane. Just managed to keep it within limits there. Hill up the Kemmel Straight. The day that was never a straight, believe it or not. I used to weave between the There's mounds as they went up the hill towards into the forest. Eventually though, it was made into a nice straight, and crowds on the left hand side. They're given somewhere to sit and watch all the action. Close in now on Schneider as they go down towards Pouon. Oh, this car just starting to lose grip now on those outside tyres. Just choosing that low gear there, a little bit more purchase. Close enough this time, I don't think, to be able to threaten through chicane unless manages to take this fast left-hander. Give himself a little bit more speed. He has. But Schneider again leaves the car there on the inside. They're going to go side by side again. Can Bergsma keep it together this time, or has he sold him a dummy? He's done it to give himself better drive down the start-finish straight. Schneider though matches him. Source they go. Nice from Schneider there. Picked up about a quarter of a second. Bergsma. So straight they go. Closest battle on track currently, this one. Oh, and just hit that rev limiter, picking Andre Bergsma's guts off the floor. I would hate to have heard that. Full load comes down, the car's lighting up. That will happen more and more. Really deep into Bruxelles, and that has allowed Schneider a little bit of a breathing space. So let's leave those guys to that one. Meanwhile, back in the field, Gracinos Cassell and Greg Metcalf. Finland's just behind them. Will make his way back through the field. Doors don't want to climb his way back up to 9th. Where is 10th? Jazz Forsberg 11th. Magyar, Wicklander, Lecken, Schneider. Unfortunately in the pits and out of the right. These lot, Magyar, Forsberg. Behind them, Lecken and Wicklander. Magyar on Forsberg. Exist. Try and put Forsberg off slightly. There's an old hand though. This is currently at the back of the field, Marcel Lecken. Just see how quick these drivers are. There's the guy at the back, remember? Kind of just in front of him. Those guys being dragged into the corner there on their brakes. they're through. Not Marcel Lecker, that's Jazz Forsberg. Oh! Wicklander on the power too early on the exit of La Source. Choose the inside wall, so that's given Lecken space there. So Lecken up to 13th now. Wicklander, after that error, another stub nose BMW as he tries to fight his way back. Hope he's done no damage to the internal workings of the car, and it is just cosmetic. Rasmus Casel's made a bit of an error, but now Binnesley to get a little bit closer. Hey Mr. Finningham, see you in chat. Sorry, I've been so engrossed in the races, didn't see you. Nice to see you watching along. It's your missed round, so teammate Greg's doing you proud up there in 6th position. Again, Cell goes wide there. Give that time back. Just imagine if he's gained any through Blanchimont, that's the worst place you're going to have to give it back, because Binnesley will be right on him. I don't really think there's been another. Oh, Binnesley goes wide anyway, so that's negated that one. So Metcalf, Cassell, and Binnesley. And to start finish straight they go. Off in the white Mercedes, followed by Cassell, followed by Rick Binnesley. The battle for 6th. Check 8 seconds up the road from Greg, so the room in front of him. And Binnesley really wide through the exit radio on there. So just getting a little bit back interested again in Metcalf, and we lost a second or so. Now he's made that back up. This is flown by, just 18 minutes to go. Britton from Haas, he's got 2 seconds lead now. Max Haas has Clive Britton. Just starting to eke out that gap. Oh, he's got 2 seconds on Bergsma after Bergsma made that mistake in Bruxelles, went very wide, very deep. Get the car turned on the dirty part of the track, so lost a couple of seconds there. Tries to be able to keep that couple of seconds in his pocket. A second and a half or so back to Pavlicek, so he's made his way right into the back of that group. Schneider, Bergsma and Pavlicek. Watch that one as we come towards the end of the race. And we've got this Metcalf, Cell, Binnesley battle. Binnesley's just dropped off a little bit as Cell picks up the pace. Rasmus Cassell was second at Brands Hatch in that one as he goes really wide there. Tucking behind Greg. Blanchimont. And the brakes as they go through. Past left hand. Up towards bus stop anymore, but the bus stop chicane will start finish straight. Still remember Giancarlo Fisichella in that F1 race ploughing through that part of the track, and part of the reason why that was changed. Wet day in F1, but I missed the bus stop on his own expedition. And a right mess of him. I think he was driving Benetton at the time. Yeah, part of the reason why the track was changed and the old bus shop chicane is no more. This time, Cassell a bit closer on Metcalf, not quite close enough I don't think though. For both of them through there. I'm preferring to square the corner off. So hugged the curb. Through Piln again. I've taken a later apex. Now it keeps true to the track. Both lines seem to work. Bites into the tarmac there as they go on the brakes. Stavolo punched that inside curb. In fact, I've missed it. Cassell got it though. Straight again they go to resume the battle. Both of them through there, like Greg's a little bit wide on the brakes as he lost grip. They're going to come down to the chicane side by side again. Anything Cassell can do there is try and push Greg into a late break, but it didn't work. So often you do that after you don't carry your normal speed through a corner. You don't need to be early on the brakes or late on the brakes, and you tend to lose your marks, but well held there by Greg Metcalf. He was on in 6th place. Cassell here watching in 7th, Benazzi a bit closer in 8th. Spa-Francorchamps though, just in front of these, is right on the, well, say right on the back, he's getting right close to Andre Bergsma now. Bergsma will be time back to Schneider now, so 13 minutes to go. This is the battle for the final podium position. Up front, Britain still leads Max Haas, that gap now 3.5 seconds. 6 seconds gap back to Schneider, Bergsma and Pavlicek, these three you're watching here. They go up the straight though. Towards Cassell and Cassell. That kind of battle still rages. So a lot closer this time. Ron Greg kind of drifts out wide. Just not able to control his brakes. Under the gantry, taking a lot of that inside curb there. Again, AstroTurf on the latter one there. Massive line this time through Stavolo and Metcalf and the Cassell. So straight they go. Say straight. Keep it together this time through there. Oh, both of them munching that inside curb. Behind them, Aguiar and Forsberg. Aguiar taking a different line there. Just dropped him off the back of Forsberg. He just took a better line at the exit there. Right onto the back of Forsberg through this part of the track, but as it is, that's gone. back up front though, back ahead rather. Cassell and Metcalf. Cassell right behind Greg Metcalf now. We can keep it here. Eau Rouge and Radion, and then get on his tail. Metcalf will have to defend up the inside here. Cassell closing under slipstream, pulls out wide. He'll have the racing line through. Metcalf will have the defensive line. They touch. They go side by side through the exit. Fight continues. So look at the inside into Bruxelles, forcing Metcalf to take that tighter line. Just can't seem to shake Cassell. Speed from both of them through Pouon. It's about who can negotiate the next part of the circuit. It's the best drive that Paul Frere. Cassell needs to get right. Tighter on that line there, turned in a bit early, but as the tyres grip starts to go, the corner becomes more of a turning earlier corner. Scrub out wide. These is the battle because it's Pavlicek and Bergsma. You can see Pavlicek still on the pace of those leading cars. Drive-through cost him 10 seconds early in the race. Since then, all he's done is lost 3 seconds, so he is on Max Hass's pace. He will be furious with himself for that false start. Goes the inside to defend the line there, and that BMW will top out at the end of the straight, moves over, squeezes Pavlicek onto the left hand side of the track. Bruxelles they go. Heavy MERC just seems to bite into the tarmac a lot better than BMW. Behind though. Look at this, Cassell and Metcalf. Is this Cassell's chance? Oh. Metcalf going sideways through virtually the whole of Pouon there. Impressive driving from Greg Metcalf. Still, Gerasimos Cassell long way through. Meanwhile, there's Pavlicek and Bergsma. Bergsman's got the inside line through here, but he'll need to shift it wide to give him a line. Oh, do they touch? I think they do. High speed contact there. Bergsman and Pavlicek. Six minutes to go. 3 more laps. Check and chase Bergsma through Eau Rouge. Hey Michael Kasperink, how you doing, man? Good to see you in chat. Welcome along. Missed all the action virtually. But you know, Radek Pavlicek started from pole position. We've got a false start. Literally jumped the lights by about a second or so. Lights on for a really long time. Gave him a drive-through penalty. Getting 10 seconds down. That's the reason why he's back here. He's driven a really good race. Unfortunately, that's cost him any chance of any kind of victory. And he's now struggling to try and get back on the podium. Britain's internet so far holding out after 55 minutes. Check slides there through no name. Hope you've signed up for the touring cars, Mikkel. 3 weeks to go before they start, so get yourself on board. Look at this now. It's turned into a big three-way battle further back. Metcalfe, Cassell and Binnersley. Let's go on board with Rick. Keep an eye on the Pavlicek Bergsma battle. It's a battle for 6th. Metcalfe 6th, Cassell 7th. Binnersley here in 8th. Cars all over the shop as they exit the corner there. Up ahead, Pavlicek half a second or so behind Bergsma's 8. Start finish straight. Go through here, okay, and we'll jump back onto Pavlicek. If we can make it down through Rouge and Radion. Bergsma really sure that BMW is as wide as possible. I've taken a really good line through Rouge and Radion there. We go up the straight. Pavlicek again will start to close on Bergsma. Bergsma will take the inside. And drift back to the racing line on the outside to give him the corner. Good car positioning there from Bergsma. Have a check quick through there though. There's no room around Andre Bergsma. Meanwhile, back in the field, Cassell's got round Metcalfe this time. Can he keep it there? Oh, struggles. Really struggles there through Lecombe, and that's given Binnersley the opportunity to close out. Oh, Cassell! Oh, has he lost it? He has. He's lost the place to Metcalfe. Binnersley's going to go around the outside of Cassell here, around Bruxelles. Can he keep the car? There he can. That's going to give him the inside line into no name. Cassell have to give the corner up, and he does. Binnersley's through. Great driving there from Rick Binnersley. Cassell was almost, well, he was ahead of Metcalfe and now finds himself back behind Rick Binnersley. Binnersley wide through Pouon though, as he tries to keep the car under control. Just a couple of minutes to go. Tyres on these cars will be screaming for help. And two of them go again, side by side. This time Cassell having to tighten up the line. He come down towards Stavolo, a little bit of a bump between them there. That just gives Binnersley a chance to mess Stavolo up. And they go on to the straight, oh, wide there from Cassell. Mikkel, hop onto rrlegs.com. All the details on there for the next 2 series. WTCR, 6 rounds, quick fire, weekly rounds, right up your street, mate. So get involved in that. Oh, Cassell late on the brakes there. This is Binnersley though. These 3 Down the start finish straight. Binnersley wide. He's got past Metcalf there. Wow. And Metcalf must have got really bad drive out of the corner there. In fact, he's let Cassell through there as well. As Metcalf got issues here. Has he got a fuel problem maybe? He had. I would imagine he'd have come into the pits. But Metcalf really struggling for some reason. Really dropped off there. I can only assume he's got fuel issues. Although it seems to be playing up straight okay. An issue in the car somewhere. Havlicek and Bergsma. Schneider up in front. These three driven fantastically today. Let's not forget one man who has driven absolutely brilliantly all day. Clive Britton is going to come round to win his 4th race in this series. Cars really suiting Clive Britton, and he moves further and further towards his first RR Leagues Championship. Stalwart in the community. Finally found way to gold. Max Haas in the background there, trying to keep him on his all race, but he couldn't have the pace of Clive Britton. He comes round to complete his final lap. He crosses the line. Win number 4. Great drive. Clive Britton is the winner. Round 5 here at Spa-Francorchamps of the DTM 92 Championship. Max Haas comes home behind there in 2nd. Schneider going to come home in 3rd from Bergsma and Pavlicek. That's how they're going to finish. Schneider, Bergsma, Pavlicek. Good try from Pavlicek trying to get it back there after that false start, but unfortunately couldn't get that one back. Binnersley and Cassell going to come through for 6th and 7th. Here's David Dorr, Greg Metcalf. It was a fuel issue. You can just hear it trundling round. Is he going to make it home? He's going to cut through the grass. That's clever. That's clever. Oh no, Greg can see the start finish line. Oh, but it's dead. The car's dead. And there goes Carlos Guerra. Carlos is going to get 9th. Jas Forsberg is going to get 10th. Magyar's going to come home for 11th. And Greg Metcalf's going to sit in his Mercedes, watch them all go past. Unfortunate there for Greg. Just realised at the end of that last lap, obviously after he's gone past the pits, that he was struggling for fuel. Thought he could get it home. Unfortunately though, just couldn't do it. So we'll wait for the breakdown of the results, but provisionally Max Haas, he wishes. Clive Britton wins round 5 from Max Haas. Klaus Schneider in 3rd. Andre Bergsma in 4th. Radek Pavlicek, as we said, false start, finished in 5th after that penalty. Binnersley up to 6th at the end. Great drive from Rick. Grasmos Cassell there in 7th. David Dorr he's up to 8th in his battered BMW. Carlos Guerra in 9th. Jas Forsberg 10th. The dogs are happy. Dusan Magyar in 11th, Wicklander 12th, Marcel Leckendowner in 13th. Greg Metcalf, unfortunately classed as DNF. He did not cross the line for that last lap, even though you could see it in his sights. But ran out of fuel there right at the end, and Lars Schneider, accident earlier on, forced him into the pits and a DNF. So there's your final results. Clive Britton wins. Pavlicek though with the fastest lap and pole position. Pavlicek will take the extra 10 points for the pole position through the championship. Clive Britton will take back the lead the DTM 92 Championship. He's just one step away now from first championship with RR Leagues. Anyway, there we go. Room has decided that's it, so we'll call it a night as well. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't liked the video, please remember to give us a good thumbs up, and see us back on, when are we, a week Wednesday, for the Porsche Cup car, the final round of that Porsche Championship. It's been really close, and we're back a fortnight or so to pick up the last round of the DTM Championship, see if Clive Britton pick up that first championship himself under RR Leagues. Anyway, with no further ado, don't forget, 2 series coming up. Don't forget to register if you haven't already. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, hop on over to rrleagues.com. All the information there and how you can get involved in those series. But for now, and for the rest of the evening, I wish you a very good night. As I said at the start of the stream, best wishes to all those people in Europe that have suffered recently. Floods, our thoughts are with you. Take it easy, guys. Take care.